Dragonverse fans, welcome back to another series that we are about to start here on the Dragonverse. You waited, and it's finally time to deliver the first season of Starblade and the Martian Marauder. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Previously on Starblade and Martian Marauder. Conduct your investigation quietly. Rebellions that are allowed to fester turn into movements. Movements can be harder to kill than one singular target. No luck, huh? No. Their systems were too tough, and I found nothing to aid me. The ground gives way and begins to collapse as a loud growl can be heard from a newly formed crater in the ground. We begin on the outskirts of the capital city. A small village of Eozorans work and play in their community. The children laugh as they chase each other. The small group of children run outside the confines of their village up and nearby a hill. Nearly out of breath, the children stop once they reach the hill that overlooks the vast Eozoran grasslands. As the kids catch their breath, the ground begins to shake. Back in the village, the adults feel the ground beginning to quake as well. Concern passes among them, as does confusion. The kids decide to return home, but one of them stops. He notices something on the horizon. He screams and begins to sprint back towards the village. Terrified, the other children run as fast as they can. The ground shakes with even more fury. The adults rush to meet the children and escort them back home. However, something large bursts from the ground with a loud roar. The villagers scream with fear. In a nearby city, a few guards patrol the exterior. Got any plans for the end of your shift? Yeah, go home and take a nap. I'm beat. Seriously? What about that girl you were talking to? Got plans the next eve. Going to need my energy. She's a wild one. The two begin to laugh. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake, and the two share a look of confusion. A ground quake? No, this feels different. Almost as if, once again, something burst from the ground. The guards can't believe their eyes. Is that a... It can't be! There's another loud roar. The guards get their blasters out and begin to fire on the creature. Each shot hits, but doesn't seem to pierce the creature's armor. We can't let this thing reach the city. Call for backup. On it! The second guard fires a few more shots before retreating to a safe distance. He pulls out his communicator as the other guard continues to fire on the beast. This is Private Thielen requesting backup in Sector 54. Suddenly, there's another roar as the first guard fires rapidly before his weapon clatters to the ground. Private Thielen gasps as the creature looms over him. He hits the transfer button on his comm. Private Thielen requesting backup in Sector 54. There's a massive what? The creature roars and drowns out the private's last words. He manages to toss his comm a few feet away before he's devoured. Starblade and Martian Marauder have returned to the vacation home. How long do you think the chief advisor will take to get us that intel? A few hours at least. Maybe we could go to the resorts ourselves? Save him some time. Starblade shrugs. Be my guest. As for me, I'm gonna wait here for the transfer. Very well. I'll be back. Suddenly, a glass vase falls off the table and breaks. Starblade throws her hands up. Wasn't me. They both feel the slight tremor as the house shakes. I agree. You can't cause seismic disruptions. If the chief's advisor sends us a bill, I'm giving it to you. Martian Marauder walks over to the window and looks outside. Something wrong? I don't know. The house still shakes a bit as the heroes look outside the window. King Etterman, Chief Advisor Fanning, General Portsmouth, and the King's other advisors sit in the meeting room. Private Thielen requesting backup in Sector 54. There's a massive Then the roar is heard as the private tosses the comm. The message is reversed and played a few more times. It's paused as the shadow looms over the private. What's the update on Sector 54, General?
Sir, we've deployed a drone to the area for surveillance. We have images.
Show me. Several images begin to appear of the destroyed wilderness.
That drone followed the path of destruction to its origin. A small village was destroyed as well. The beast exploded from this origin point before beginning its rampage.
Everyone sees the massive exit crater. What are we dealing with, General?
If the private's message is to be believed, and the type of damage caused, there's only one viable answer. A ringworm.
Impossible. Our ancestors hunted them to extinction centuries ago.
Yes, and many Eozorans were killed in these hunts.
The chief advisor goes silent. Can we kill it?
Of course we can. Our technology has advanced well past what our ancestors had at their disposal. All you need to do is give an order.
You have my permission to dispatch our military to deal with this threat. General Portsmouth nods and salutes his king.
Thank you, King Etterman.
General Portsmouth exits the room. King Etterman, may I have a word? Make it quick. Ringworms were incredibly difficult to kill. Most came down to a lucky shot or two. If this one is a survivor from the old days, it may be a challenge for our military. Are you suggesting something? In the event our forces aren't successful in taking the beast down, perhaps we could seek alternate methods? Alternate methods? Like bombing it? No, I was thinking of something a bit more smaller in scale. In the room of Toko Rusk, the Brigands of Malice have assembled. The door opens. Toko and Raijin enter.
How'd it go, boss?
Excellent. The ringworm is rampaging towards the city as we speak.
Excellent.
What did it look like?
A beast bred to kill.
Real descriptive.
It'll be all over their feeds later. Get a look then. How many bombs have you finished, Karaz?
I've got 2 ready, with the others nearly finished.
Gather your first 2. Time to get started.
Sounds good to me.
Jorath, you stay here. Raijin and I will take the first location. Karaz and Dejari, the second. Karaz smiles with glee.
I'm buzzing with excitement. This is going to be a day to remember.
I agree, my friend. Nobody will forget this day for a long time. The day the Brigands of Malice became a powerhouse in the galaxy. Back in the safe house, Starblade sits upside down on the sofa. The tremors no longer bother the house. Martian Marauder has shapeshifted into an Eozoran. Well, I'll be back. See ya. Suddenly, the communicator in the home begins to beep. Can you get that? Martian Marauder returns back inside and answers the communicator. Chief Advisor Fanning appears. Chief Advisor Fanning? The Chief Advisor looks a little confused. Who are you? Oh, my apologies. Martian Marauder returns to his regular form. Ah, Marauder. Where is the Starblade? Starblade sticks her hand in the air and waves. Yo. She's listening. What do you need? We have a situation. There's a massive beast rampaging outside the city. What kind of beast? A ringworm. Starblade snickers. How dangerous is this ringworm? Extremely. If not stopped, it will cause much devastation. What can it do? They're heavily armored and resistant to laser attack. At least they were in the past. Despite this, our ancestors were able to hunt them to near extinction. They can also be rather large. All indications is that this one is. I'd assume the king wants your military to handle this? Correct, but I have persuaded him into allowing you both to aid our men. He knows we're here. Not quite. I merely alluded to having help that was, well, expendable. The chief advisor gives them both an apologetic look. If you feel like helping, I can tell you where to go. Martian Marauder looks back at Starblade. She gives him a thumbs up. Very well. Tell us where we're going. Thank you. Thank you both. It's what heroes do. The chief advisor gives the heroes information on where to find the ringworm. We see the ringworm as it continues its rampage across the wilderness. It uproots trees and destroys the fields. Another small city is in its sights. It roars and begins to move towards it. In the sky, several starcraft fly towards the location at rapid speed. A small squad of 5 craft fly in a tight formation. The lead pilot checks his radar. Stay in formation, gentlemen. The creature is nearly in our sights. Yes, squad leader. The ringworm arrives at its destination and begins to crash into buildings. The civilians scramble to safety, the guards escorting them out of danger. A few begin to fire on the ringworm to no avail. It ignores them and continues to crash into buildings. The city guard continue to provide covering fire for the fleeing civilians. As more debris begins to fall, a family of Eozorans run for safety. The family takes cover to catch their breath. As the massive worm lets out another roar, it is drowned out by the firing of laser cannons. The squad of fighters arrive, appearing from the clouds and blasting the ringworm. The civilians begin to cheer, as do the city guard. Look at the size of that thing. Stay focused, auxiliary. First run was a success. Let's circle back round for a second strike. The pilots fly past the ringworm, preparing for a second attack run. The ringworm reels back. The starcraft complete a second attack run. The ringworm growls in anger. Sir, not seeing a lot of damage. Keep on it. We'll pierce that armor. The pilots prep for a third attack run. The ringworm spins and smacks one ship with its tail. The ship crashes into a building and explodes. Break formation, now! The remaining 4 ships break formation. The ringworm analyzes the situation. It begins to move, rolling after one of the ships. Sir, it's after me! Use your thrusters! It can't move that fast! The pilot begins to activate his ship's thrusters. The ringworm whips its tail at the ship, hitting it at the right moment. The ship's engines are destroyed, and the ship spirals out of control. It crashes into a nearby field and explodes. Sir, any ideas? We fire at the same spot and see if we can't make a dent. Both of you, on me! The remaining ships form up and fire at once. The ringworm howls in pain. Good hit! Another attack run and this thing might slow down. The ships circle around for one more attack run. They fire in unison again. The creature howls in even more pain. It spins around and begins to lash out with its tail. Both the squad lead and his second are knocked into buildings. They're both killed on impact. The final ship is bitten in 2 pieces. The ringworm roars in victory. The ringworm focuses on the remainder of the city. The guards resume the evacuation. The civilians are in a state of shock and terror. As the ringworm prepares to attack the city, once again, a pair of loud blows are struck as Starblade and Marauder both uppercut the ringworm, sending it tumbling back. The citizens and city guard are confused to see the heroes. Wow, he wasn't kidding about the destruction. What should we do? Protect the civilians. Get this thing out of the city. Marauder looks and sees the debris of the destroyed starcraft. I wish we'd arrived earlier. Perhaps we could have saved them. We can avenge them. Starblade prepares her blade. Marauder prepares for battle. The ringworm recovers and roars at the 2 heroes. Both of them rush towards the large beast. Inside the king's meeting room, the king and his advisors watch the drone feed. As the last starcraft is destroyed, the king hangs his head. General Portsmouth smashes his fist on the table. Thank you, soldiers. They served well. How long will it take to get reinforcements there? If we mobilize now, a few minutes. Sir, incoming! Everyone looks at the drone feed as the ringworm is struck. What the? What just happened? The drone focuses on Starblade and Marauder. King Etterman looks shocked. Then he looks at Chief Advisor Fanning. Who the hell is that? The heroes I was told had left the system. I'm sorry, but I told you I had help. You could have mentioned it was those 2. Seems you've been keeping some things from me. I apologize, my king. If you order it, I will step down for this. No need. Let's hope your friends fare better than our forces. Do we still send in our men? Have them on standby, in case these 2 end up as worm food. Chief Advisor Fanning looks relieved as he continues to watch Starblade and Marauder battle the ringworm. The ringworm snaps its jaws shut. Martian Marauder narrowly avoids being consumed. Starblade fires a blast at the creature. It impacts, but the worm recoils and hides the wound. With lightning speed, it whips its tail and smacks Starblade. She crashes into the ground. It goes for another bite attack against Martian Marauder. He grabs its massive mouth and holds it back. His muscles bulge as the ringworm attempts to bite down. It lashes its tongue out and hits him in the face. He is sent flying into a building. Starblade resumes her attack with her blade. She manages to damage the worm, but its hide is thick. It roars in pain. Starblade retreats. She hovers in the air and dodges as the ringworm swipes at her. She looks in the direction of Martian Marauder. He has yet to rejoin her. Starblade takes a deep breath. Okay, you big dumb worm. I've got something you might like. Yellow Giant Mode. Starblade's aura shifts to yellow, as does her blade. She smiles. Now it's on. Starblade rushes the beast. Martian Marauder begins to recover. Starblade plunges her blade into the creature's hide with ease. It roars loudly. With two powerful strikes, the creature crashes into the ground. The ringworm begins to slowly recover. Starblade flies overhead and unloads on the ringworm with a barrage of energy blasts. The ringworm howls in pain. She's doing it. Starblade fires one final blast at the deadly worm, and it lets out a long roar before collapsing, motionless. Starblade smiles and dusts her hands off. That's how we Starblades deal with alien worms. Martian Marauder smiles as he gets to his feet. He flies over to Starblade. Well done. Thanks. Second time I've had to use a secondary function to get the job done, but hey, it's over. What's this one called? Yellow Giant Mode. Increases my strength and energy output for stronger blasts. Resourceful. Yeah, there's one more mode. You'll love it. Starblade's aura returns to its regular hue. Civilians slowly begin to appear from hiding places. The guard attempts to begin restoring order. Both heroes turn their back on the ringworm. At least we saved the city from destruction, but they've got some rebuilding to do. I'm sure King Aramin will look forward to proud Eozoran restoration efforts. The ringworm opens its eye. As quietly as it can, it winds up its tail. Both heroes see the shadow rise behind them. Before either can react, both are struck by the massive armored tail. Starblade crashes into Martian Marauder, and the two crash into the ground, neither one conscious. The creature roars as the civilians scream and flee. The ringworm begins to roll across the land, causing more destruction as it heads off in a new direction. Jorath the Juggernaut watches the news feed of the attack. The beast known as a ringworm appeared approximately 30 minutes ago outside Bright City. It began a rampage of destruction. It's unclear how many casualties there have been, but we do know that the Eozoran Royal Navy engaged the beast to no avail. The question on everyone's mind is, where's the rest of the Navy? Hold on a moment. We're going to take you out to just a few moments ago. It seems someone else has engaged the beast. Jorath looks at the screen with curiosity. The feed shifts to the battle. Jorath isn't surprised to see Starblade and Martian Marauder fighting the worm. We're not sure who these individuals are, but they appear to be working together to defeat the beast. For now, that's all we have for you, but stay tuned as we continue coverage of this event. Jorath shuts off the holoscreen and gets out his communicator. Inside an unknown location, Toko, Rusk, and Raijin are in a secluded area. Almost done, boss. Toko's communicator beeps. Jorath, everything all right? Guess who's here? The Starblade and Martian. They're fighting the Ringworm. Boss, we figured this could happen. No changes. We stick to the plan, though it seems our distraction won't last as long. Be back soon. See you then. Jorath ends the transmission. The Ringworm spins its way towards the capital at a rapid pace. It continues to leave a path of eroded land behind it. More starcraft close in on the beast and begin to open fire. The ringworm ignores the fighters as best as it can as it rolls along. Once the fighters begin to fire more heavy weaponry, the ringworm lashes out and destroys more ships. The ringworm continues heading for its next destination. King Edelman and his advisors watch as the beast barrels towards the city through the drone footage. My king, now would be a good time to begin evacuations. I don't want to leave the people to die. If you die, the people will be leaderless.
Your safety is important, my king.
I can wait. Get my family to the safe house. I think that's possible, but don't throw your life away. We can save as many as possible. We're sure it's not too late? The beast is almost here. The population will never be able to fully escape.
That's what we're here for. The military will buy as much time as we can, since those other two are likely dead.
Chief Advisor Fanning hangs his head. Fine. I'll gather my family.
Quickly, Your Majesty.
The king exits the meeting room. Starblade and Martian Marauder are flying after the ringworm. Starblade holds on to her ribs. Are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. We need to hurry. At this rate, it'll reach the capital. The military won't let that happen. Starblade winces in pain. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine. Seriously. My ribs are simply hurting. Among other things. How are you? The creature hits hard and fast. We need to be careful. I have an idea. You? Ha ha. Hear me out. What if you shapeshifted into another ringworm?
I can't.
Why not? Shapeshifting into something of that size takes a lot of concentration. I don't think I can do it. You don't think, or you can't. There's a difference. I can't. Starblade frowns. Damn. On to plan B then. The two continue to speed after the ringworm. The ringworm has nearly reached its destination. More starcraft fire upon it. The ringworm roars and begins to destroy them. A few pilots manage to escape in time. The ringworm is held at bay for a moment. It spins and burrows underground. It tunnels past the military, continuing to head for the city. Martian Marauder and Starblade continue to fly, coming into view. Starblade continues to hold on to her ribs and begins to lose altitude. Darn it. Seems like you might have to start without me. Don't worry. I'll stop the beast. Give me an open shot, and I'll help. I'll do my best. Martian Marauder flies off to face the beast. It doesn't take him long to catch up. The ringworm continues its pace. Martian Marauder dives down feet first. He lands near the worm's head with a loud impact. The ringworm stops in its tracks. It bursts from the ground. It sets its eyes on Martian Marauder. You go no further than this. The ringworm roars loudly. It bites at Martian Marauder, who dodges narrowly. Martian Marauder kicks the worm, followed by a clubbing blow to the jaw. The worm whips out with its tail, but it's dodged. He grabs the tail and gives it a squeeze. The worm roars and bites at him, again and again. Each time it's dodged, until the worm uses its head and smacks him back. Martian Marauder recovers. He flies back towards the worm and strikes it with both fists. He begins to punch the worm again and again. It staggers back, but its tough hide protects it. The worm begins to smack him around with its tail. Martian Marauder is knocked into the air and begins to fall. The ringworm opens its mouth to eat him. Suddenly, a blast hits him in the chin. It spins around and Starblade is standing there in the distance. Martian Marauder flies and hits the worm with a massive right cross. The ringworm finally falls, unconscious. Martian Marauder grabs it by the tail and tosses it back towards the wilderness. Martian Marauder breathes a sigh of relief. The king and his advisors meet in his meeting room. My liege, we're still calculating the damage total. Whatever the cost, we'll rebuild it. This could have been a lot worse, Your Majesty. Indeed. General Portsmouth, we will honor the brave soldiers who gave their lives today.
Thank you, King Edelman.
I'll make sure your family knows the situation is over. Yes, the Queen will enjoy not having an impromptu trip to the vacation home, though she does love it. Yes, it is a lovely place. Have you ever thought about renting it out to visitors? The Queen would never agree to that. I suppose you're right. The two begin to laugh. Martian Marauder and Starblade sit on a hill looking at the city. Good job. You too. How's your ribs? Better. Still bruised. I'll recover. We still have an investigation to finish. Wouldn't stop even if my ribs were broken. I don't think you've broken a rib before. Thankfully, no. You think that worm is going to come back? Most predators don't fight when their prey fights back. Thanks for the shot back there. You could have faced through it. But I didn't. You're welcome. Let's get back to the safe house. Fine by me. Maybe I'll take a nap. Starblade smiles. Yes! Naps are life. The two young heroes lift off into the air. They don't get far before an explosion rocks the city.
Well, wouldn't you know it? Just like that, we are halfway through the first season of Starblade and the Martian Marauder. Thank you guys so much for all the support up to this point, and I hope, as always, you've enjoyed everything you've listened to. Until the next one, take care. Dragon out.